In last week's episode of Motoring Today's Motoring Forum, we started the conversation on the various issues of motorcycle riders by hearing from the rider side represented by Mr. Jobert Bolaños of Riders of the Philippines and Motorcycle Rights Organization during the second Spmj Forum. This week, we'll have insights from LTO Director Francis Almora and HPG Director Roberto Fajardo for the government side, and Motorcycle Development Program Participants Association Incorporated President Armando Reyes for the motorbike manufacturers part.
According to HPG Director Roberto Fajardo, the discussion on the issues that the motorcycle riders face is very timely as several road problems concerning motorbikes pop up every now and then. The HPG director added that the agency is supportive of the motorcycle enthusiasts and they are concerned with the riders' safety. Fajardo also said that they encourage the riders to be road marshals and become the HPG's eyes and ears on the road.
Nagkakanta kami ng seminar. At the same time, they take an oath that they will support the HPG every day kasi sila nasa kalsada. We use them as the eyes and ears for the safety and security of all road users and also for the benefit of the riding public, especially the motorcycle enthusiasts.
The director mentioned that they give importance to the riders as much as they give importance to other road users when it comes to road safety. With that said, the HPG says that they are prohibiting local government units from releasing memos that prohibit the use of helmets. This is their response to the issue raised by the motorcycle organization with regard to their confusion about the helmet law.
And HPG will continue to oppose measures that will give LGU authority to temporarily suspend the enforcement of helmet law. HPG adheres to the road safety. So, about this helmet law, this is the law that this should be strictly followed. So, LGU ordinance that prohibits helmets due to the concern about motorcycle riding suspect. MRS ang tawag namin dito eh. Motorcycle riding suspect. Oo, hindi riding in tandem. So any LGU's ordinance says that prohibits helmets due to the concern about MRS, the motorcycle riding suspect, it is against our national law and is a major safety concern.
However, the HPG director stressed that aside from the helmet law, there are other laws that motorcycle riders should also comply with.
So safety concern of motorcycle riders, siyempre yung safe speed. So all motorcycle riders must adhere to the speed laws in all roadways. Use of helmet. Marami talaga walang helmet. So ito yung isa sa mga causes of death. The anti-drug driving law, a growing cause of road crashes, is the influence of alcohol on drivers and drugs. At maraming ang actually I just talked with the provincial bus operators. Yun yung problema nila, yung binabato yung buses na dumadaan and karamihan nakamotor. Sa probinsya nakamotor, and ang problema rito karamihan nakainom at the same time mga minors. Yan ang problema natin. So yung again, yung safety ng mga minors, ano ba talaga yun? Law, kung pwede ba sila gamit ng motorcycle. Isa ito sa mga concern ng mga bus operators.
With regard to overloading, Fajardo confirmed that only one passenger is allowed. The HPG director also stressed the rule about child passengers.
It is allowed only one passenger and one driver. And for child safety on motorcycle, no child is allowed to ride on the motorcycle. Pag yung child hindi niya kayang apakan yung footrest. So pag yung paa niya nakalaylay, bawal ho yun. Dapat yung child, kaya niyang apakan yung footrest. Kasi safety yun eh. Kung kaya niyang apakan yung footrest, kaya niya, mas stable yung tayo niya. So kung hindi niya kayang apakan yung footrest, bawal ang child sa motor.
Moreover, in response to the riders' concern about the use of LED lights, here's what Director Fajardo said.
Itong LED kasi it causes temporary blindness on other motorists. Pwede naman gumamit ng LED pero hindi dapat nakataas. nakababa. And ang ginagamit natin nga dito is the PD96. This is yung mga illegal attachments. Hindi naman talaga kung yung LED is manufactured paglabas sa hindi namin talaga pinapakialaman yun. But yung mga illegal attachment yung pinapakialaman namin based on the PD96. The use of horn, lights, sounds, dome lights, ito na yan, including blinker, siren, LED lights that are unpleasant and startling. Yes, the Congress support and the SPG was able to defend the apprehension of LED lights because the term LED lights is just a new term of such light that it is the unpleasant or that causes temporary blindness of 3 seconds and hence it is a safety issue.
The HPG director also touched on the issue of habal-habal.
So this blatant disregard to the intent of the law of franchise. So certificate of public convenience requires utmost diligence on operator. So allowing MC as PUV for passenger is allowing passenger to be put at risk.
HPG Director Fajardo closed this presentation by highlighting that all their actions are based on law.
We have explained the orders and enforcement of activities of HPG with the Office of the President, NAPOLCOM, and the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, and to include the Chairman of House Committee on Transportation, Congressman Cesar Sarmiento, and they all support HPG regarding PD96.
On the side of LTO, Director Francis Almora said they listened to the concerns of the motorcycle riders as they are also part of the transport system and a major part of road users are motorcycle riders. Almora echoed the HPG director's statement that motorcycle riders have their own responsibilities when it comes to maintaining road safety. The LTO director started with the issue of registration.
Of course, one issue that enforcement usually we encounter on a daily basis are the non-registration of motorcycles. The registration of motorcycles, except for 250 and above, is 1 year. And usually some motorcycle riders, after getting the motorcycle from the dealer registers it. But then sometimes they forget to register the succeeding years and they're operating on the road without registration. Our law states that no motor vehicle is allowed along Philippine highways except unless they're registered.
Still on the topic of registration, Almora added that it's also important for motorcycle riders to have a license.
The riders should be duly licensed, and likewise, the motorcycle should be installed, or they should have plates. They should not be using for registration as plates, because if they say for registration, they are already violating the first that I have mentioned, which is their duty to have those motorcycles registered. So they are already calling attention of the enforcers when they use the plate motorcycle for registration. So we have under the LTO guidelines, even for motor vehicle, 4 wheels and above, we have guidelines on the use of temporary plates. We recognize that we were for some years now, LTO was not able to provide the plates. That's why we've provided a temporary plate that would prove that the motor vehicle is registered. We are not after the plate as a metal plate or anything, but then as long as there's a proof that the motorcycle is registered, then that motor vehicle is allowed along the national roads. So we know that what we are implementing is not actually no plate, no trouble. There's no such thing as no plate, no trouble.
The LTO director mentioned about the subject of speed limit. According to him, there has been fake news circulating regarding the speed limit.
For speed limit, we had there was a posting somewhere which was sent to us that on the speed limits. And what is very startling here is they mention they emphasize on the 80 kilometers per hour on open country roads with no blind corners, not closely bordered by habitations. We hope that with you as our partners, we can educate the riders that this is not the basis of their speed, because it will depend on the size also of the motorcycle. Can a 50cc run as fast as 80 kilometers per hour without being reckless? So there's that factor of reckless driving if they will run the maximum of 80. Some riders think that they're allowed up to 80 kilometers. But then if they will not consider the other factors, then they could be apprehended for reckless driving, even if they have not reached that speed. So we should remind our riders that that is just the maximum speed, and they should consider all other factors while driving or operating their units, and not just to try to reach that speed and then say the law provides that the maximum speed allowed for motorcycle is 80 kilometers per hour.
Almora also talked about the requirements in the reclassification and or registration of modified motor vehicles.
With regards to modification, we have actually specific guidelines on modification. Please take note of the difference between modification and replacement part. A manufactured part of the unit is already, let's say, worn out, and you replace it with a similar part, that is a replacement. But if you change the design, then that is modification. So under this Department Order number 2010-32, these are the prohibited modification. This is true for motor vehicles and motorcycles. Axle modification. If the original axle is 2 and you make it 3, then that's a violation. That's not allowed. Chassis modification. If the motor vehicle is supposed to be just 8 meters and you make it 12, extend the chassis, then that's a violation of this rule. Additional siding of dump trucks from the design, extended overhang, change of rim size. This was mentioned a while ago. Change of rim size. It's not, if the size is 14 and you make it 15 or 18, that's an illegal modification. If it is 18 inches and you change it into 14, lowered, that is an illegal modification as per LTO issuance. That's also true with motorcycles. Rim modification, rim size modification. We have modification of handlebars and mufflers. This is the usual problem that we encounter. Some riders change the design of the handlebar, so that for us in the enforcement is an illegal modification. And if they change the muffler, then that is an illegal modification. Reconfiguration of body dimensions and designs is also an illegal modification.
The LTO director also mentioned that there's been a new law which they talked about with the motorcycle organizations. According to him, the associations have been instrumental in crafting new issuances.
We have top boxes and saddlebags. Our only concern here is when these top box or saddlebag, it is a standard top box or a saddlebag. It does not need to be registered. It does not need to be inspected by LTO. But if it is a special top box or saddlebag, then this requires inspection by LTO and it must be registered. This is again another source of irritants with the riders on the road, especially if it is not a standard saddlebag or top box. We're referring to like those that are being used by food delivery.
The top boxes and saddlebags must meet the required size or else they will be apprehended and will be given a fine.
What should be important here is we take note of the size of the top box or saddlebag. It must be at least, it must not extend more than 14 inches from the side of motorcycle. This is under the custom-made saddlebag. Here, under C, they shall not exceed 14 inches from the sides. So if this will exceed 14 inches from the side, then that is subject for apprehension. If a motorcycle rider violates this, we consider this as a violation of Section 2D, the motor vehicle operating without or with defective, improper, unauthorized accessory devices or equipment, and they will be fined with 3,000.
Again, on the topic of the use of lights in motorcycles, here's what the LTO director said.
For motorcycle lights, motorcycles are equipped with these basic 4 parts or lights. The headlight, which should be white or yellowish in color. Tail light or tail lamp must be red in color and have no blinker mode. Direction indicator light must be yellow, amber, or orange color only. The stop brake lamp will be wired and may be turned on only when the brake system of the motorcycle is applied.
However, Almora said they have allowed additional lights such as parking lamp, fog lamp, and number plate lights.
These additional lights include the parking lamp, fog lamp, number plate lights. However, attachment of these additional lights should follow or should conform with the standard that was placed here. For parking lamp, they can be wired that they will be lit simultaneously, shall not be turned on while motorcycle is moving. Fog lamps should only be lit during instances of thick fog, but they must have their own switches. So when we check these additional lights, we check on the switches actually. So if the additional light is colored red and blue and with blinking mode, then it falls under PD 96 as mentioned by General Fajardo, and it will be a violation of PD 96. If the horn is not actually the regular horn as designed by the manufacturer, but it has that startling sound. We know, I believe you have heard that sound, that startling sound, which can startle a driver and create an accident. So this must also be complied with.
Almora said there's an existing provision which states that there should only be one passenger and rider, just like what HPG Director Fajardo mentioned a while ago. Almora said this relates to the prohibition of using private motorcycles as a public transport.
This relates to the current issues on the angkas, grab angkas and everything. There's a confusion on who among the national agencies is in charge of this. Is it LTO? Is it LTFRB? Because motorcycle is not part of the local government, the code which allows them to regulate tricycles. This is motorcycles. So if we relate the design of the motorcycle and safety of the motorcycle, then one rider, one back rider is allowed. However, there is a provision under 4136 which states that any motor vehicle registered as private must not in any manner be used to carry freight or passenger for a fee. So if your motorcycle is registered as private, then you are not allowed in any manner to be used to deliver cargo, freight, or passenger for a fee.
The LTO director noted that electronic motorbikes or e-bikes must also be registered as they are considered light electric vehicles or LEVs.
Some dealers had initially made claims that electric bikes are exempted from registration. The drivers or riders are exempted from getting a license, and they even use it along national roads. So if we go back to the provisions of 4136, as I had earlier mentioned, no motor vehicle, and we define motor vehicle as any that is powered other than muscular power. So sinasabi kasi na anyway, it's electric. Electric is not human power. So it is powered. It must be registered. So yun po, sabihin po nagkaroon po ng confusion on the side of LTO, which we have been trying to fix on the registration of electric motor vehicles.
The LTOs also added electric fuel on the list of LEV fuels.
In the LTO system, the only difference there between electric, gasoline, and diesel is the fuel. So we had already added electric as part of the fuel under the drop-down system of LTO. Kasi dati, it's just diesel and gasoline. Walang electric. So they don't know where to place it. But electric motorcycle is designed as a motorcycle. So it is already there. A four-wheel electric vehicle is already in our system. It's just a fuel. But now we have added that fuel in the system of LTO, so it can be registered anytime.
For the manufacturer side, MDDPA President Armando Reyes cited their road safety advocacy for the riders. MDDPA said they conduct campaigns and activities to educate riders as well as the pedestrians.
MDDPA Trust is on road safety promotions. It is a continuing program to increase the level of awareness of road safety by addressing the negative perceptions and impact of motorcycles. We are conducting a promotion and activities such as safety riding outreach seminars for solo riders, riders club members, and senior high school students. Weekend seminars for riders in cooperation with concerned LGU, PNP, and LTO. Road safety seminars for children, grade 3 to 6, wherein we educate children on road safety and instilling in them the value of road discipline at an early age. Stickering campaign and arrest poster campaign, life-saving sticker campaign, dubbed as Helmet Saves Lives, which aims to mobilize stakeholders to help addressing the road safety problems. Of course, road safety advocacy rides, awareness campaign rides through distribution of road safety manuals and stickers. We also participate in road safety activities, RS Global, National Safety Kids Week, World Days of Remembrance, trade, and motorcycle.
MDDPA said they submit position papers on proposed bills, ordinances, and IRRs to the government.
On government laws and rules and regulations, we do submit position papers on proposed bills, ordinances, and IRRs, and participation in public consultations, such as the Helmet Act laws of 2009, Safety of Children Aboard Motorcycles, Anti-Distracted Driving Act, Motorcycle Crime Prevention Act of 2017, Mandatory Automatic Headlights on the Motorcycle Act of 2017, and various local government units proposed ordinances such as regulating tandem riding, helmet use, pest control.
That was LTO Director Francis Almora and HPG Director Roberto Fajardo representing the government side, and Motorcycle Development Program Participants Association President Armando Reyes for the motorbike manufacturers part during the second SPMJ Forum.